Oh my goodness, wait till you see the arrangement we're about to make. A big, huge, beautiful Christmas arrangement. Today, all the flowers that we're working with came from Sam's Wholesale Club. Really? I didn't even know they had flowers, but I've been really impressed by how good these flowers are all are. I have dozens of white roses, a couple dozen hydrangeas, and we're gonna get right to work on a really gorgeous arrangement here. This is going to be kind of a rustic style arrangement, so it's not going to be super formal or anything like that. The bucket I'm using actually has a picture on it that I don't want to show because it's a Christmas arrangement. It's going to be one-sided, so I'm going to turn the bucket around here, and I want to show you my mechanics real quick. Ta-da! My big coffee can. If I put a whole piece of Oasis in here, I'm going to waste the entire cost of a piece of Oasis. And by the way, when I say Oasis, I'm talking about floral foam. It's available at Michael's. Remember, use your handy-dandy coupons. This is just the label off of the package. I got this one in a 4-pack. I'm sorry, I already broke it apart. They're already soaking in water. But as you can see, it says wet foam. There's 2 kinds of floral foam. One is for using in silks, one is for using in wet flowers or fresh flowers. So make sure you get a wet foam one. All right, now my next part of my mechanics. This actually had mushrooms in it. I'm constantly saving these containers. They're great for floral arrangements. This is the Oasis I'm talking about. It's already been pre-soaking. There's water in my dish. You want to keep your dish full of water. Keep your Oasis nice and wet so those flowers can keep drinking. I have tied it up with floral tape. These are some of those few things that I say, go ahead and buy. You'll want these in your toolbox of floral design stuff. It'll last you a long, long time. So use those Michael coupons and it makes all the difference in the world. First, what I did was tied that onto there. I'm going to put that into here, and I'm going to have it so that it faces the direction I want. I'm going to make this the front of my bucket. So I'm going to face it so that it's this direction, okay? Now, going back to that tape, this is my mutilated roll of the waterproof floral tape. My dog got a hold of it, but it's still working just fine. So I'm going to tape that. I've already taped it into the dish. I'm also taping it onto the bucket. I'm going to be using some hydrangeas today. I think I'm going to follow my same tape lines so that I don't cover up too much of my floral foam there. Okay. I'm going to be using some hydrangeas today, and as you know, hydrangeas are a little bit heavy-headed, so I certainly do not want this to just tip right on out of my bucket. So using some of this waterproof tape will ensure that that does not happen. And I'm going to be getting that covered up. You'll see once we get started. Okay, as always, we're going to start with greens. Greens out of your yard are just fine. I have several different greens today. I've got some Christmas greens since it's a Christmas arrangement, straight out of the yard. I also have seeded eucalyptus. Now this is one of the few greens that don't grow in my yard. I do have to buy these from a flower shop. I actually got these from a lovely girl named Shauna. She runs Arrangements. That's her website, www.arrangements.pro. She does nothing but wedding flowers. Oh, she does fabulous work. So anyways, I'm actually going to start with my seeded eucalyptus. I love this because of the drape that it has to it. Okay, let me just get started. I'm going to go around a few spots here. Get a little bit of height in here. See how that hangs? Oh, this is just beautiful stuff. We'll get that on the front. Start getting that to cover up some of our mechanics down here. Everything has been in water. I know it's laying on my table right now, but it has been in water. But even though your stuff is sitting in water, you always want to give a fresh cut. It's not just about cutting it to the height you need it. Even if it's the exact height you want, give it a little bit of a fresh cut. It's going to make everything last longer. Whew, that one's tough. Get him in there. I'm just filling in some various heights. I'm getting some height going, getting the bottom of my bucket covered up. I love these little seeds on here. All right, now I'm going to fill in. This is Solal. Just fill in some little pieces here and there. The nice thing with a rustic arrangement is that it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. It's supposed to look a little bit like you just collected a bunch of flowers from the garden. It's supposed to look very easy and casually elegant. Fill in, snip that little head off there. And just fill in with a couple more pieces and then we'll get back to instructions here. Actually, why don't you do here's my Christmas greens. Throw some of them in here and there so that I've got a little bit of, these smell so good. Oh my goodness, I love decorating at Christmas time. Everything just smells wonderful. Good height there. All right, now that we have some base with our greens there, I'm going to jump right in with some hydrangea. I absolutely love hydrangea. Now, when you cut your hydrangea to go into your foam, notice that they have these little nodules around the edges. If you don't trim those off, then when you push into your foam, it's really going to make a huge gap in that foam. And it's going to make it so that then it doesn't hold as well. And with these heavy heads, you want it to hold as good as possible. So I'm not only going to cut right at that nodule, but I'm actually trimming it down. I hope that's coming out good on the video. I am trimming down that nodule as well so that it is completely gone. Get a nice sharp point for myself there, okay? I've got another nodule up here, so I'm just going to trim him down just a little bit so that he's not putting too huge of a hole into my foam. Okay, and let's get our first hydrangea in here. There we go. Next hydrangea, we're going to do the same thing here again. Trim it right where that nodule is so that we're not making a big hole, and place our next hydrangea over here. And I want to keep those nice and low so that they'll be just little puff balls coming out the bottom. Let me get one more to put into the back here. And this one I'll make just a little bit taller. This is a one-sided arrangement. The back of the arrangement won't show, so I want this to be just a little bit taller so that it kind of fills in from the front. All right. Now, you'll have to check some of my other videos out because what I did with these mums, I show it on another video, they are covered in glitter. It's a special kind of glitter glue. It's all explained, so make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you can check out all of the videos I have available. I'm doing the same thing with these. Again, see the nodules just like on those hydrangeas? We're going to trim those down so they're not tearing up our oasis. Okay, just need to trim them just far enough for how deep you're going into that floral foam. Okay. One right in the front there. Give him a fresh cut. Find him a spot over on the side here. Let's see, right there. I've got a nice tall one here. Height started. We'll fill in our height with some white roses in just a minute. So I'm just getting some height started. And most of the time I turn this and I show you that I've got a triangle or a circle or something like that going. This does have a little bit of a circular shape to it, just following the roundness of the bucket, but for the most part it doesn't have a lot of form. This is kind of rustic, so like I said, it's supposed to look like you've just gathered it up out of the garden. Okay, so there's our mums in place. Let me grab a handful of roses now. I love these roses. They've got just a little bit of green right around the edges, which is just so pretty. So I'm going to start with a nice tall one there in the middle. Get him up there with those mums that I have. Okay. And then just keep filling in. Once you've done this a few times, you're going to start getting an eye for where you want everything to go, how you want your shapes to be. Now, if you stick one in and you decide that it's too tall and you pull it back out, make sure you give it a fresh cut. Never just stick it right back in, because you're going to have an air gap in your stem then, and it's not going to drink well, and you don't want that. You also do not want to go into the same hole. You'll want to go into a new hole. Okay. Now, you see I have a hole here? I'm leaving that just because today I'm going to use a bow. I'll probably be giving this arrangement to my mom, and she likes kind of a traditional arrangement with those nice big puffy bows on it. And if you don't know how to make bows, you need to check out my videos again. Go subscribe. And I do have a video already made that shows complete instructions for how to make those big, beautiful bows that a lot of people go to the florist and have to pay for all the time, or you pay a fortune for at Sam's, or I'm sorry, at Michael's. There's just no reason to pay a fortune for those. Learn how to make them yourself. I promise you, once you figure it out, it's the easiest thing in the world. I'm just filling in my height just a little bit there. I'm going to start tucking some into the back, because like I said, even though it's a one-sided arrangement, you're going to be able to kind of see through to the back. See, I got to find where my phone is. Okay. I want a couple more roses. Got plenty to deal with here today, so. Fill in a couple of little short ones just to fill in some of these low spots. Okay, just want him a little further down there. There we go. I just want him to kind of fill in some little spots there. Let me do one more little spot filler on this side. All right, so now what makes this a Christmas arrangement? Well, we've got our little glitz and glam. I don't know that that shows up from our glitter that is on our mums. That gives it a great sparkle. I want to come out here on the sides just a little bit. Find my foam. It's hiding down in there. There we go. Get one on the side there. And let's get one right down here. And just poking out next to that hydrangea there. Okay. All right, so on top of the glitz that's going on our mums, I have some little goodies to put in. These are the picks that come from Michael's. I showed in another video how I take these apart and I redo them into smaller pieces. It makes them go a little bit further. sometimes they come in such big bulks that they're too much in arrangement. You need smaller pieces, so that's what we've worked down to here, okay? All right, so I'm going to stick these in here and there. Start getting some of our Christmas color in there. Break that stick down a little bit there. Okay. Let's see, he might be too tall. One right in the back here. We're going to work our way around all these flowers here. They're starting to get full. No? You might not be able to find a home in here. Let's see. All right, let's switch. I've got some that are on thinner spikes, so I will use one of those. The spot I'm trying to get into is so full of flowers. Goodness, if I can get him to cut here. Come on now. All right, so I'll get him right down into the back here. Hopefully he can find a spot to fit in. There we go. His stem is a little smaller, so he fit in there a little bit better. Okay. Let me put one more over here. All right. And I think I'm going to stop there. Now, I have some baby's breath, and I was debating on whether to use it or not, but let's go ahead. Let's find my knife in all this mess. Now, here's your baby breath. Start with your long tendrils that are here on the end, and you can just tuck those down into there. Okay. Fluff them up a little bit, get another little tendril, tuck him in over here. I don't want to overdo him with baby's breath, but I do just want to add just a little puff here and there. Add one in the back here just to finish off our back, since we do have a hydrangea back there. When you tuck them down in, then you can spread them out. We're not breaking them, we're just spreading them out and making them go where we want them to go, so that he's highlighting everything. There's a perfect one for this side. And let's get one more puff down in here. All right, pull him around where we want him. There we go, just a little baby's breath to fill in here and there. Now I've got my bow, like I said, check out that other video and you'll see how we made this ribbon. And just take his wire, got a feel in there, feel how deep he's got to go. I'm going to bend his wire in half because he doesn't need to go too terribly deep in there. And stick that right into the foam. Puff them up. Get the tails where we want them. Okay. And now I'm going to come around with a couple of pine cones. Again, the pine cones, those are in another video, how I wrap those and wire those up. Let's stick those in. I've got to find my oasis. See if we can get that guy to go all the way in there. down right underneath the bow there. Oh, he's going to hang too much. I'm going to cut him a little shorter. Don't want him hanging that much. Alright, let's try him again. Now he's messed my pretty little bow up there too. It's okay. The nice thing with the wire edge ribbon is that you can really move it around. We'll get him back the way we want him. Puff him back up. Okay. And now I'm going to put one of these guys on the top here too. So I knew I was leaving a hole in here just for this. Alright. And then I have just a couple of curly willow just to finish off a little bit of height. Just add a little bit more interest to this. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Remember to check out my other website, deepsouthgreens.com, and check out my other videos. Subscribe to our channel. Thanks.